What's up everyone? This is Ryan here, the crypto grinder, and today I'll be covering Ethereum, be covering some small cap coins. What is BIP148? Are you ready for it? And of course, naturally, which wallets are already existingly gonna support BIP148, especially when it does occur. How do you secure your Bitcoins, because it's like a hard fork that is going to occur. It's the first the first, especially with the current market cap of Bitcoin. It's causing a lot of nerves for people who are holding huge amounts of Bitcoin, or at least starting out in the game. So with that being said, let's just quickly go to the news. So the big three. So the Chinese big three Bitcoin exchange Huobi is launching Ethereum trading. This will happen on the 31st. Europe, I would say, is US Europe side. I would say they would be buying up Ethereum, which it is, because currently Ethereum is at $201 US. Of course, on Poloniex you see it a little bit lower because the USD tether is slightly inflated. So with that being said, there is much anticipation that you're going to see Ether at new highs. Of course, we had the crash on Saturday where everything was all sold down. People thought that it was the end of the world, but no, man, it's just going to have these kind of high levels of volatility. But I am, it's coming to June, and it's the summer holiday, it's the spring break for the US, bank holidays in UK. You'll have the end of May. It's going to be a pretty low volume month in June, and you can kind of like see that, because when I notice the exchanges currently, the volume has 24-hour volume, by the way, has reduced by half compared to last week. Okay, so you're clearly seeing all the traders taking a break, spending time with the family. It's pretty normal. So I think this is the best time for you to start accumulating coins, especially those that you've been looking at. I've been getting a lot of requests on all the various kind of altcoins, so I decided to cover 4 in particular during this period. And if you find that those coins are suitable and it's going to be good to complement your existing portfolio, please look at them. So with that being said, of course, when does Ethereum launch on Huobi? So that's 12th of May, GMT plus 8. So that's exactly Singapore time tomorrow, 12 p.m. I think if you look at, you might want to consider looking at on the internet, like when does that occur. And if you wanted to buy Ethereum, well, you're taking a punt now buying it at 200, right? Because Ethereum was so cheap on Saturday, and when I made the call to buy Ethereum, I personally didn't need to buy more Ethereum, but I did say that 130 to 150 bucks is kind of okay, and of course it dropped to $100 on Saturday, so that was the best time to buy, right? But however, I understand that there was a huge issue with providers who didn't have Bitcoin available for people to buy even, right? So that's the problem, right? When you have high volume, the wallets are not reliable, and it's truly very frustrating. So I'm looking forward to I'm hoping that there will be more, there's going to be some stability in these exchanges, especially when in times of high volume. It's very frustrating when you cannot take action when you know that there's a bargain going on. So I really feel for a lot of people, especially who missed out, and also for those who bought at the high. Now's your chance to actually look at either taking profit on Ethereum. I don't feel that you should cash out on Ethereum entirely, but you might want to consider mitigating your risk, because you won't know what June is going to be like. But apparently June 14, there's going to be some events that are going to lead into Ethereum showing changes in their roadmap, right? So yeah, looking forward to that. Now let's talk about the BIP148. So BIP148 here is the UASF, which is the user activated soft fork. So long story short, there's going to be 2 cores. So it's So the main core, the legend core, is where currently we are all using that network, right? And the moment that BIP148 is implemented, okay, so those who are more techie, you will understand it better, but I'm just going in from a layman terms. Make sure that the wallet that you are currently using, you own the private keys, okay? And at the same time, make sure that the wallet that you are using, okay, is going to support the BIP148 soft fork, right? The protocol. Because if they're not, then you may lose out on whatever the BIP148 tokens. So basically, it's like when Ethereum had the hard fork, right? And they wanted to have ETC killed off, kind of, but ETC survived, right? So those who had the wallets had the protocols in place, the wallet protocols in place, you would have an X amount of Ethereum in your wallet, and you will have the exact same equivalent amount of Ethereum Classic as well. Okay, so yeah, so just make sure in this site I will put the links to the description below, and you can go and read the guide. There are a list of wallets that existingly already cater to the BIP 148, or at least they're going to prep their users. So let me see. Yeah, okay, so 9th of April, you have Electrum, Samurai, CoinKite, Coinomi, Green Address, Ledger Wallet, Electrum, and Mycelium. Okay, so so these are the wallets supporting the BIP148, okay, for now. And I'm sure as we move closer towards August the 1st, so take note of that. August the 1st is when it will occur, all right? And if you're holding a significant amount of Bitcoins, or you're new to Bitcoins, please remember to make sure that your wallet is supporting the BIP148. Okay, so market roundup. You're looking at, as I mentioned, lower 24-hour volumes leading towards June. So, you're not going to see very exciting markets like how you saw in the past, 2 months, and the last week was, just a gradual pickup of volume to, daily about 5 billion. Okay, so as you can see, so the last 24-hour was about 4 billion, 6 billion, 5.9, then gradually you see it coming off, and of course now you're looking at, okay, so basically looking at the past 24 hours, yeah, you're just seeing lower volume, right? You're just seeing lower volume. It's picking up again, but it's not having that huge strong spike, but it's recovering from the crash on Saturday, which was the 27th of May, right? I think everybody knew what that day was. But it's good. I find that it's healthy. I mean, if you look at the overall run-up, okay, just look at the overall run-up, guys. I mean, come on. You need a break. Okay, you need a break. And I'd rather it have a significant fall than it keeps climbing, and the fall or the sharp retracement from that height will be worse. So that being said, this correction is so small. I find it very insignificant. It's not like it did fall to 1,500, 1,600 Bitcoin, right? And of course, a lot of people who bought Bitcoin at 2,600, because everyone's saying that the prediction of Bitcoin is gonna go to 3,000 to 5,000 easily this year. I agree. If BIP148 goes through and they start increasing the block size, that means transactions will go through faster. Hopefully that the transaction fees will be more manageable, because currently we are paying exorbitant fees for I mean, the amounts that I've been transferring are not a lot, but sometimes I can get really sick fees, so it shouldn't be that way, right? Because it's a digital currency. But you know, that's the thing we gotta accept when we're using crypto at the moment, especially Bitcoin. That's why a lot of people have moved away from Bitcoin and moving to other altcoins that are faster in terms of transaction and at the same time so much cheaper, and that's more viable, right? Like you want things like Ripple, you know, that is instant. Doge, you know, it moves very quickly along the network. But you know, we're looking at, of course, a storage of value, right? So currencies, especially that have a storage of value or hedge against inflation, okay, usually have to have a limited supply, right? So Bitcoin fulfills that, right? It has a limited supply. There's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoins in the world. So you know, I'm still long-term bullish on Bitcoin, but it's still going to face, you know, its rocky waves, especially leading up to August. But after August, I think things are going to be a little bit more certain, and we can see higher highs, you know, once everything, you know, is in place. Okay, so BTC dominance is of course below 50%, which is expected. You know, people are saying that the moment Ethereum, you know, more when Casper is out, and you're seeing what do you call Metropolis, you know, all these things happening on Ethereum, you're gonna see that flip in terms of market cap. So that's called the flippening, right? And yeah, a lot of things are going to happen. It's going to be really exciting times. So that being said, okay, let's go into the coins, right? I think everyone wants to know about the entry points of the coins, which coins to buy. I really actually gave my prediction already, and I would like to maybe talk a little bit about dollar cost averaging first. So a lot of requests have been coming in from new users and emails that I've been getting, which is pretty good. You know, some of these emails, they are very constructed. They really have a plan. So having said that, right, when you are looking at a portfolio, so let's just maybe look at my portfolio. So when I look at my portfolio, for example, if you're creating a portfolio, you have to look at solid coins. Now, Exodus, of course, doesn't have all the coins out there, right? You can't speculate too much with other altcoins, but you want to have a base of Bitcoin, and you want to have a base of Ethereum, and you want to have a base of Litecoin. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just accumulating the bases right here. So when I accumulate all these three bases, okay, I can of course start moving out to smaller cap cryptocurrencies, right? And slowly just build on those new projects, right? I can be a little bit more adventurous, because I know for a fact that you know, the existing coins that I own have better infrastructure. They have a longer blockchain, of course, Bitcoin being the longest blockchain. So the longer the blockchain, the more robust, the more solid the network, less likelihood to 51% attacks. And of course, you know, each has its own you know, plus point, right? So after you have done that, okay, you want to slowly move towards the more exciting coins that can give you a higher ROI. But those higher ROI would depend on a large part speculation. How's the roadmap like? And are you in tune with the community? And of course, you want to see the daily trading volume or even weekly trading volume in that coin. How many exchanges are listing these coins? Because if you don't look at these criteria and you just blindly just pick up one just for the sake that it's the top performer, right, you may get hurt because you don't have a big enough base to get adventurous. So when I receive the emails, usually they come from various different age groups. Some who have savings on hand and want to go in lump sum and completely diversify. Then there are those who are younger, okay, who want to start on a monthly basis. So meaning that whenever they get their allowance or when they get paid on their part-time job, they wanna put it into crypto, which is very, very encouraging. That shows that the community is growing. More and more people are actually understanding what this is all about, and they want to get in. And that's when you have to, you know, provide that education on what's the best approach, what's the best strategy. So lump sum, basically, of course, you have to pick your moments much better than people who are doing dollar cost averaging, or those who are entering on a regular basis throughout the year or the next 12 to 24 months, or whatever the size of that portfolio that you are intending to build. Now, lump sum, okay, why do I say that you have to buy on consolidations and dips? Because once you go in and you're stuck at the high, you do not know how long is it going to take before it recuperates, unless you have a really long-term time horizon, and you don't need that money. Because the whole idea of investing is that you should not need that money near term. You should not say that you need this money to purchase a car later on 6 months, or you need to pay a down payment for your house, or you need it to put your kid through school. It should never have that kind of timeline. When you're talking about investing in cryptocurrencies, and especially in such a volatile market as cryptocurrencies, you should not ever, have a short time horizon, despite the fact that you see so much speculation and those 100, 200% days on certain cryptos doesn't mean that you're going to have to go all in. You should never do that. So now, when you talk about dollar cost averaging, on the other hand, you can be a little bit more, I wouldn't say careless, but because you're going in every month, okay, you're picking up cryptos at various points. So let me just illustrate. Okay, let me just illustrate with, say, okay, let's say Bitcoin. Okay, now if you were every month, let's do a monthly candle then. Okay, then you'll get my point very much clearer. Okay, so if you were, let's say you saw Bitcoin, right, and you bought in every month diligently, say $100, right? You just picked up $100 every month since 2014, and all the way leading up until 2017, you would have accumulated quite a lot of Bitcoin. Okay, you would have accumulated quite a Bitcoin, and you would have reaped the fruits of your long labor. Now, let me give you another example. Okay, on, let's say, for example, if you're talking about Bitcoin. So let's say you talk about Bitcoin. Okay, let's say, because Bitcoin has been around for so long, since 2020, what in the world? How is this only showing? Okay, so let's say, for example, okay, it seems to be only going back to 2015. Strange. Okay, so let's say you bought Bitcoin every month, right? Every time you have a bit of your salary and you put it into Bitcoin, or your allowance, okay, whatever. Okay, and you just slowly bought Bitcoins every month. Okay, you would have accumulated quite a bit of Bitcoins as well. Of course, if you have the money up front and you decided to pick up Bitcoins, then you must not panic, right? Especially now, look at how parabolic Bitcoin is, right? Because of all the sudden adoption and all the media attention that Bitcoin has been getting, it has gone, honestly, quite parabolic. In fact, very parabolic, right? And you want to be able to mitigate those times when, especially when you got the call wrong or you bought too high, and dollar cost averaging kind of helps you out with that. So you're going to be buying whatever cryptocurrency that you are having, where you find that it's very favorable, and you just buy, even though when it dips. That's right, when it dips, you can buy as well, right? But then again, you can pick your moments. Like if you know how to be, you've been reading those charts, you can skip and say, hey, this month doesn't look like a good level to buy, say, Ripple, for example. Okay, and you want to pick it up when it's starting to consolidate. Okay, so you can do that. So for example, if you look at Ripple, right, and we look at the fact that you can't say, for example, these are all daily candles, by the way, but Ripple has already, stopped bleeding heavily. Okay, it has stopped bleeding heavily. It started to consolidate, and yes, I have picked up some Ripple at this point, and I'm gonna just write it out. And if it corrects, you're looking at the 9,000 Satoshi level. And of course, the worst case scenario is the 3,885, which kind of isn't likely, because if it wanted to sell down heavily, it would have done so. But as you can see, it recovered back to the 10,000 Satoshi mark. Okay, so that's 22 cents if you're looking at US dollars, right? So yeah. Now, regarding Bitcoin, like I said, it's gonna just, whether you should buy Bitcoin now and hold. You can, but there's going to be a lot of uncertainty because of the BIP148 happening on the 1st of August. So once that fork is done, everything will be very, very clear. But then again, the price would have run up significantly by then. Okay, it could happen, or it could crash. It's anybody's take. Now, Stratus. Stratus is of course a blockchain solutions B2B company. Now, I don't have any issues with a company that's trying to, incorporate or help other companies, incorporate blockchain into their business model. But it's very hard to tell what kind of clienteles they have, because usually, most of the time, there's usually an NDA, right? And they don't want, because companies want an edge against other companies. So you never know who are their clientele. So you're buying up for just the roadmap or whatever updates or patches that these guys are having. But how does that relate to revenue to you as a token holder? So of course, if you ask me, would I touch Stratus? No go for me. I'm not buying any more Stratus. But if I had bought here, okay, at the 20, okay, so here being, when I say here, I mean 8,814 Satoshis, 35,000 Satoshis, 51,000, and 71,000 Satoshis, or 70,000 Satoshis. Yeah, sure. 69,000 Satoshis to 70,000 Satoshis. Yeah, sure. No problem. But now that it's run up, I ain't touching it, man. I will not touch it, because it's due for a correction and it has to come down at some point. And when it comes down, just like Ripple, I will then consider picking it up. I mean, I think it's a good company, don't get me wrong, okay? But later. Now, NEM. Okay, so NEM, it looks like it's forming, it looks like it wants to break out, right? It looks like it wants to break out, but it's like those speculative trades, right? So being that, let me just draw the trend lines here first. Okay, so looking at how it's trying to form a, okay, wait, give me a second. Okay, so it looks like it's gonna break out, right? But then again, as long as it maintains above this trend line, it's gonna break out. So the first level or resistance would be 10,800. Okay, 10,800 Satoshis, which isn't that much, if you're not trading on like huge volume. Okay, so this is more of like, okay, if it continues to gradually trend upwards and follows this, okay, it's gonna break up. And I would not take anything less than 12, at least take profit at the 12,100 Satoshi mark if I bought here. Okay, that would make more sense. That's at least 30%. Okay, but other than that, I wouldn't say this is like a long-term play for me at this point. I like to see it like when it's a little bit more consistent in terms of where it's at in terms of price before I put my money in, right? So same thing, right? If I had come in here and here this period, that's fine. I'm sure some of you did, and maybe those who saw the run up, you picked it up here again. It's still an uptrend if you look at it. Okay, so let's look at the trend line. Okay, if you look at the trend line, you see, it's still up, guys. It's still up. It's still an uptrend, and it's still within the channel. So that being said, it's possible. This is pretty positive in terms of a short-term trade. So with that being said, I have created a Telegram chat where we can all build a community together, talk to each other, and the chat is called Crypto Grinders. I'm going to put a link to the description below. Feel free to join, and at the same time also, I've been getting so much requests, guys. You guys are insane. I have had like in the last 28 days 2,463 subscribers. It's been very, very encouraging, and I feel that I have to step up my game, right? And stepping up my game meaning that I have to do more in-depth research. It's not that I don't want to talk about altcoins, but it's just that which ones are credible, it's very hard to tell because there's no audit. They don't need to even let you know who what's going on, and there's no dividends to any of these tokens, right? The only kind of dividends is only when you do a master node or a proof of stake where you get rewards for run or staking your coins on a network, and not every coin does that, right? So there's no real way for me to justify revenue sometimes. It's just all pure, like, okay, news on adoption, it being listed, new wallets coming up, permissibility, this kind of stuff. I would hope to recommend something tangible. So the only things that I can look for are the top 5 cryptos, because if you are starting out new and you start speculating on the stuff that is new, right, which only launched last year, okay, and more ICOs are coming up, and you get burnt by these ICOs, that means you will get discouraged from the crypto scene, right? Because you lost money, you didn't have a good impression. But if you made money, then of course that's so different. You'll be more willing to take more risk. But let's not get too aggressive when you don't have a stable portfolio going on. And with that being said, June is one of those times that you should step up on your learning, step up on creating how to secure your coins. If you haven't bought a Ledger Nano S wallet, go to the link to the description below, get a Ledger Nano S, learn how to secure, or download the exodus.io. Guys, I don't even have an affiliate link for the Ledger Nano S because I don't feel that I want to it's just basically for you to get it. Simple as that. So with that being said, that's the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching, and guys, just join the Telegram chat, and yeah, feel free to drop me an email, send me a message, and of course if you dislike the video, yeah, and of course just feel free to comment, and last but not least, don't forget to subscribe if you like the channel. Thanks so much. God bless.